You paid for the click. Then they vanished. Here's exactly where and the fix for each point. 81% of people who start filling out your form abandon it before finishing. 67% of them never come back, according to Genesis Growth's 2026 analysis. Every second your landing page takes to load past 2 seconds costs you 7% of your conversions. And businesses using automated timely follow-up see 77% higher conversion rates than those that don't, according to Fireworks research. Email traffic, for comparison, converts at 19.3%, nearly double the rate of paid search traffic, which tells you something important. The problem most small businesses have isn't generating clicks. It's what happens in the 90 seconds after the click. Most small businesses spend all their energy and budget optimizing the ad. The headline, the targeting, the bid strategy. Almost none of them have ever audited what happens after someone clicks. The landing page, the form, the confirmation, the follow-up. That's exactly where most of your paid traffic disappears. This video maps the entire post-click journey, shows you exactly where customers vanish and how many, and gives you a specific fix for each point, most of which take 10 minutes or less. Let's map the full journey from click to customer, because this isn't one problem. It's 5 separate points of loss, each with its own cause and its own fix. Point 1. The click lands on your page. If load time exceeds 2 seconds, you're already losing 7% of potential conversions for every additional second. This happens before the visitor has even seen your offer. Point 2. Landing page to form start. Most sites lose 40 to 60% of visitors before they even begin filling out a form. They read the page and decide not to engage at all. This is a clarity and trust problem, not a technical one. Point 3. Form start to form complete. 81% of people who start a form abandon it. 67% never return. This is the single largest point of conversion failure in the entire journey. Point 4. Form complete to confirmation. If the confirmation is vague or unclear, the customer isn't sure their submission worked, leading to duplicate submissions, anxiety, or them simply assuming it failed and looking elsewhere. Point 5. Confirmation to follow-up. This is where deals are actually won or lost. Timely, multi-touch follow-up produces 77% higher conversion rates than slow or single-touch follow-up. Each of these 5 points is independently fixable. None of them require a redesign. All of them require knowing they exist. Point 1. The first 5 seconds on the page. Speed is the silent killer that almost no small business has ever actually measured. The data is specific. Every second of load time beyond 2 seconds costs you 7% in conversions. This isn't a soft correlation. It's one of the most consistently replicated findings in conversion research, according to Genesis Growth's 2026 compilation of 40 landing page statistics. Here's why this matters more than people assume. In the first 5 seconds on your page, a visitor is deciding 3 things almost subconsciously. What is this? Is it for me? What do I do next? If the page is still loading, none of those 3 questions get answered, and the visitor doesn't wait around for the answer. They leave. The 10-minute audit. Open Google Page Speed Insights, paste in your landing page URL, and check your mobile score. Above 90 is good. Below 70 is actively costing you conversions you're already paying for. Most quick wins don't require a developer. Compressing images, enabling lazy loading for content below the fold, and removing unused tracking scripts typically recovers 1 to 2 seconds without touching your design. That's potentially 7 to 14% in recovered conversions from a fix that takes an afternoon. This explains part of the industry gap, too. Financial services convert at 8.4% median, while SaaS sits at 3.8%. Speed and trust signals account for a meaningful share of that difference. Point 2. The form. This is where you lose more potential customers than anywhere else in the entire journey, and it's almost entirely self-inflicted. 81% of people who start filling out a form abandon it before completing it. 67% never return to finish, according to Genesis Growth's 2026 research. Read that again. More people abandon your form than complete it. For most businesses, that means the majority of interested, ready-to-engage visitors never actually become a lead. Not because they changed their mind about your offer, but because the form itself became the obstacle. Reducing your form to 5 fields or fewer doubles your conversion rate. The specific fields that cause the most damage. Phone number fields cause 37% abandonment on their own. Address fields cause 31%. Government ID or similarly sensitive fields cause 28%. Here's a documented real-world pattern. A business that cut their form from 8 fields down to 3. Name, email, and 1 open question about their biggest challenge saw conversion improvements exceeding 120% in comparable cases tracked by Unbounce. The principle? Ask only what's absolutely necessary for the first point of contact. Everything else, budget, timeline, company size, how they heard about you, can be gathered later through a follow-up call, a qualifying email, or progressive profiling over time. If your form currently asks for more than 5 things, you are actively turning away more leads than you're capturing. For forms that genuinely need to stay longer due to your business model, save and resume functionality combined with a reminder email recovers 10 to 15% of abandoned submissions. It's a partial fix, but prevention through a shorter form is always better than recovering. Point 3. The confirmation moment. The split second right after someone submits your form when they're asking themselves, silently, did that actually work? If your confirmation page or message is vague, just "thank you" with nothing else, that uncertainty creates real problems. Some visitors submit the form a second time, creating duplicate leads in your system that waste your team's time and confuse your data. Others assume it didn't work and go looking for another way to contact you, sometimes giving up on you entirely in the process. Either way, you've created friction at the exact moment you should be building confidence. The fix is specific and costs nothing beyond 10 minutes of writing. A strong confirmation does 3 things. Confirms clearly that the action was received. States exactly what happens next. Gives a concrete time frame. Will reach out within 24 hours. Is dramatically more reassuring than silence. Pair that with an instant confirmation email sent the moment the form is submitted. This gives the visitor a second channel of confirmation, useful for the portion of people who don't fully trust a web page message alone and want something in their inbox as proof. This is the cheapest fix in the entire post-click journey. You already have this page. You're just rewriting the text on it. 10 minutes, 0 additional cost, and it removes one of the most avoidable sources of anxiety and duplicate submissions in your funnel. Point 4. Follow-up. This is the step that determines more outcomes than the ad that generated the click in the first place. And it's the step most small businesses handle worst. Businesses using marketing automation for timely follow-up see 77% higher conversion rates, according to Fireworks research. The mechanism behind this number is timing and consistency, something manual follow-up structurally struggles to deliver at scale. Timing is the first lever. Sending your first follow-up email within 1 hour of the form submission increases conversion by 20% compared to sending later, according to Amra and Elma's 2026 analysis. After that first hour, intent begins decaying. The visitor moves on to other things, other tabs, other priorities. The second lever is sequence length. A single follow-up email significantly underperforms a structured sequence. Klaviyo's analysis found that 3 email sequences generated $24.9 million in attributed revenue, compared to $3.8 million from single email approaches across their dataset. More than 6 times the result from adding 2 additional, well-timed touchpoints. The third lever is personalization. A personalized subject line, using the recipient's name or referencing their specific submission, increases open rate by 26%, according to Stripo's 2026 data. And one operational detail most businesses never check: deliverability. Gmail's inbox placement rate has declined to 87.2%, meaning nearly 13% of your follow-up emails never reach the primary inbox at all, landing in promotions or spam instead. If your follow-up sequence looks weak in the data, check deliverability before you assume your copy is the problem. For B2B specifically, the optimal window for a second follow-up touch, if the first goes unanswered, is 2 to 3 business days later. Enough time to respect the prospect's schedule, soon enough that the conversation is still fresh. Here's how to audit your entire post-click journey in under an hour. One tool, one question per point. Point 1. Speed. Open Google Page Speed Insights, enter your landing page URL, check your mobile score. Target: 90 or above. 10 minutes. Point 2. The form. Count your current fields. Cross off everything that isn't absolutely necessary for the first point of contact. Target: 5 fields or fewer. 10 minutes. Point 3. Confirmation. Open your current thank you page or message. Ask yourself honestly, does this tell the visitor clearly what happens next, and by when? If there's no specific time frame, add one now. 10 minutes. Point 4. Follow-up timing. Check exactly when your first follow-up email goes out after a form submission. If it's more than 1 hour, or if it's sent manually rather than automatically, that's your next fix. 10 minutes. Point 5. Sequence length. Count how many follow-up emails exist in your current sequence. If the answer is 0 or 1, you need at minimum 3, spaced appropriately across the first week. 10 minutes. Total time: 50 minutes. The output is a prioritized, specific list of exactly what to fix and in what order, based on your actual numbers, not generic advice. Most small businesses have never completed this audit once. The ones that have found their highest leverage fix within the first 20 minutes. Let's make this concrete with a documented example showing exactly how this plays out in practice. The setup. A B2B service business running a landing page with an 8-field form: name, email, phone, company, role, budget, timeline, and how did you hear about us? 1,000 visitors a month, all from paid traffic they were already paying for. The numbers before the change. 35% of visitors started the form. Of those who started, only 19% completed it. The result? 66 leads per month from 1,000 visitors, a 4.1% overall conversion rate from click to lead. The change. They cut the form down to 3 fields: name, email, and 1 open question. What's your biggest challenge right now? Everything else, budget, timeline, role, moved to a follow-up call where a real conversation could gather that context naturally. The numbers after. The same 1,000 visitors, same 35% form start rate. That part didn't change, since it happens before the form length is even visible. But form completion jumped to 42% of those who started. The result? 147 leads per month. A 123% increase in leads from identical traffic and identical ad budget. The trade-off worth understanding. The leads coming through the shorter form arrive slightly less pre-qualified, since less context is captured up front. The fix for that isn't a longer form. It's a stronger follow-up sequence that does the qualifying work through conversation instead of through fields. That's exactly why points 2 and 4 on this journey map work together, not independently. 3 things. These are the ones that change how you think about everything that happens after the click. Number 1. The click is not the finish line. It's the starting gun. 81% of people who start your form abandon it, and 67% never return. Most of your lost customers didn't reject your offer. They got lost somewhere in your process, and you likely never knew it happened. Number 2. 5 points, 5 fixes, 50 minutes. Speed, form length, confirmation clarity, and follow-up timing each have a specific measurable fix. This is not a redesign project requiring a developer or a designer. It's an audit you can complete this afternoon with free tools and a stopwatch. Number 3. Follow-up is not optional. It's where most outcomes are actually decided. A 3-email sequence generates over 6 times the revenue of a single email. Businesses using automated, timely follow-up see 77% higher conversion rates. The ad gets you the click. The system after the click gets you the customer. You're not losing customers to your competitors. You're losing them to your own process. Here's what to do with the next hour. Download the post-click journey audit from the description. It's a Notion template that walks through all 5 points with the exact checks we covered. The speed audit, the form field priority guide, a confirmation page template you can adapt in minutes, a follow-up sequence framework with timing built in, and a before and after tracking sheet so you can measure the impact of each fix you make. For the speed and technical side, SEMrush's site audit tool identifies exactly what's slowing down your landing page. Images, scripts, server response time, beyond what a single page speed check shows you. Link in the description. For the follow-up side, GetResponse handles the automation piece directly. Set up a sequence once, confirmation email within minutes, follow-up at the right intervals, personalized subject lines, and it runs automatically for every new lead going forward, with the timing accuracy that manual follow-up structurally can't match. Link in the description. Run the 50-minute audit this week. Fix the highest leverage point first. For most businesses, that's the form. Then move down the list. The traffic you're already paying for is more valuable than you think. You just have to stop losing it after the click. This video is for educational purposes only. Conversion results vary based on industry, traffic quality, offer, and implementation. Some links are affiliate links. This is not professional marketing advice. Statistics sourced from Genesis Growth, Firework, Klaviyo, Amra and Elma, Stripo, Martall, Baymard Institute, and Mailmend. 2025 to 2026 data.